that's red. She's got the spices, smile so bright. Cooking with Judith right by my side. By my side. Chop, chop, sizzle, frying pan heat. From pancakes to a fancy feast. Cooking with Judith, fun to say the least. The least.
Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. And if you've checked my playlists, specifically the one on pork, you may have noticed there's a little bit of a theme. I do like to get a nice pork loin, butterfly it, and stuff it with things. Well, today is no different. Today we're going to do prosciutto and pesto stuffed pork loin. Unfortunately, I used up pretty much all the pesto that I had made the last time I did this, so I had to buy pesto. But I will give you the recipe for my pesto. It's just a standard basil pesto. And I can't pass up the warba potatoes when they're in season. But what I also wanted to do, because I've heard about it quite often actually, I don't know if you have, but roasted radishes. So I'm going to roast some radishes. These ones are so big and beautiful that I thought I'd give it a try. So first, we need to butterfly the pork loin. Let's get started. My pork loin is 752 grams, which is just over a pound and a half, 1.65 pounds. So first thing we need to do is just take off the ties. And I am using my boning knife, just because it's the sharpest one I own. And that will make butterflying the roast much easier. So just get rid of those. Now, since we want to put the fat cap on top of the roast, we do want that to end up on the top. We need to start I'm saying we're going to start on this end, and we're going to cut about a ½ inch from that fat cap. And we'll try to get it even. So I'm trying to watch both sides so I don't get too deep or too thin. Oop, almost missed it there. Okay. So then we're going to go the other way. Again, about ½ inch. Trying to be careful of the thickness. And again, this is probably the last cut. Well, that last one is a bit thick, so I might just do a thin. Yes, there we go. So, nice and spaced out. The cap will end up on top. So now that we've got our roast butterfly, we're going to start stuffing. So I'm going to give the pesto a good stir. You'll notice it's a little bit separated. The oil does tend to separate. And then I'm going to spread the pesto. I'm going to leave the ends plain, because otherwise it's just going to scoosh out the ends when we roll it. Try not to contaminate your jar of pesto with anything that's touched the meat. So we're going to leave a little bit of blank meat. I'm going to call it blank. We won't spread the pesto all the way to the edges. That's what I'm trying to say. Because otherwise it's just going to squish out when you roll it. And I got a little close to the edge there. Okay. You don't need a really thick layer. But it doesn't hurt. So, and if you get it really, really thick, it is just going to squish all out when you roll the roast back up. So, okay. And the next step, if I can get into this, we're going to lay some thinly sliced prosciutto over top. And again, not getting it all the way to the ends. So I'm going to do a couple of layers, maybe 3, depends on how much I've got. And we'll just put the last one right there. Now, you do need some kitchen twine and a fairly long piece. Ready to go. And then we start rolling from the end that does not have the fat cap. And as you can see, it's already trying to squish out. And just push it back in. There we go. Now we're just going to tie our roast up. And you want to be fairly close to the edge. Because the roast will shrink as it cooks. So it's over here where you can see it better. Now we're going to make a little, like a loop, and roll around the roast and put our string through that loop. Lovely. Try not to tie it all in knots as you're doing this. And again.
Meeting in the kitchen, fun ahead. Judith with her apron, wine that's red. She's got the spices, smile so bright. Cooking with Judith right by my side.
Trim off the excess. We're going to put it in our roasting pan. So this will take about 2 hours at 350 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. Or if you have a meat thermometer, you can check it. You want the internal temperature to be between 145 and 160. So we're just going to sprinkle the outside with a little bit of salt and pepper. And the bottom side, we can mop up what's in the bottom of the pan there. Oops, stop coming apart. Now, every time I've made this, when you cut into it, the pesto really doesn't show up green. It's disappointing, but that's life. Things when they cook tend to lose their vibrant colors. And since the oven will be on, I'll be doing the roasted radishes at the same time. They don't take nearly as long anyway. So for our radishes, I'm just going to clean them up and slice them in half. And I've already washed them all. And you're going to put them cut side down. Well, we'll get to that because we need to coat them with olive oil first. I'm trying to cut them in half evenly. You don't really need to worry about the little bit of stem on the end if you have one there, because radish greens are edible. Okay, I think I will save a few for salad later. And we're just going to douse them with some olive oil. So yeah, you do want the cut sides down and well coated. Just a little sprinkle of the salt and pepper. And this is just coarse sea salt and black peppercorns that I have crushed in the mortar and pestle. You can just use your pepper grinder and a sprinkle of salt. That will be fine. And they're going in the oven for about 10 to 15 minutes, depending on how soft you want them. I think I'd like to try them crunchy. Okay, I know I said it's going to take 2 hours. This was actually 1 hour. Let's find a fork. Pull it out. And of course, as always, you do want to let your meat rest before you cut into it. So we're going to just cover it with tin foil and let it rest. And while that's resting, we're going to cook the rest of the dinner and make gravy.
Meeting in the kitchen, fun ahead. Judith with her apron, wine that's red. She's got the spices, smiles so bright. Cooking with Judith right by my side. By my side. Chop, chop, sizzle, frying pan.
Pesto and prosciutto stuffed pork loin with roasted radishes. Now I thought I had a lemon in the fridge. Apparently I did not. I like lemon on my asparagus, and I heard that lemon is really good on the roasted radishes, but I don't have one. So let's try. Very nice, actually. It's surprising. It has totally lost the bite that a raw radish has. Okay, let's get into the main event here. I'm gonna dig a little deeper and see if I can get the bit with everything. There we go, right in the middle. Oh, that's so yummy. I really like using pork loin for dishes like this because it comes out so tender and so meaty. And you really don't have to worry about texture or flavor, depending on what you stuff it with. That was so good. And leaving the fat cap on the top of the roast lets it drip all over the roast, like infuse the roast with flavor and moisture and deliciousness. And I do have to say, if you haven't tried cooking radishes, give it a try. They're actually really good. And you can incorporate them in salads or just as a side with your dinner. I was skeptical, but I found that I actually like the roasted radishes. Because I know I like raw radishes, and I like pickled radishes. Now I like roasted radishes too. So, main question, can we taste the pesto? Can we taste the prosciutto? Well, that's the prosciutto, I'm sure. They aren't distinct flavors. Not like you were eating like a pesto pasta or a prosciutto wrapped asparagus or something. But they're definitely there. And the extra bits of pesto and prosciutto go so well with those potatoes. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give the recipe a try. It is lovely. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, if you liked the recipe, share with your friends and family. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you thought. If there's anything you think I could improve, or whatever your thoughts are. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with a new video.